Anytime you have a dream or a vision and you begin the process of creating or manufacturing a product or working on a garden, you engage in this process of design. And there's a number of important things we think about when you're thinking about design. One of them, of course, is function. Is the product going to work? Number two is beauty. So that's something kind of personal to each person. As they say, it's in the eye of the beholder. So it changes perspective. Depending on who you are, the culture you come from, your background, your upbringing, those can all influence and change your perspectives on beauty. So take the example of this fan right here. Little turkey fan here, the beard, hardwood, kumaru wood handle, hardwood kumaru handle, and little tail feathers. So you're thinking function and beauty. Does it work? Does it work like a fan? Okay, it works. And then, is it beautiful? Well, that's for you to take a look at. And maybe for the female turkeys to look when they see the tom. When I think about the combination of structure, function, and beauty, what comes to my mind is the skull of this cabezon fish. The cabezon is kind of a rockfish relative, known for his big head. So when I pulled this guy out of the rocks by the ocean, I thought I had caught a big old alligator. His head was so big. But check out these grinding plates of teeth that they have on them. The fun and challenging part about designing and working in a garden or a landscape is the fact that it changes over time. It keeps growing and stuff comes and goes. All of this because it's out in nature. That's to say the natural forces are continually acting on it. Whether it's the sun, the changing of the seasons, the coming of the fog and the rain, the flow of groundwater, or the wind that comes from the ocean, or the wind that comes from the valley. All these forces will change the garden over time, and that's something that the designer should consider. In addition to abiotic forces, so to speak, there's also the biotic forces at play. The garden's going to continually play back and forth with the people that are in the garden, whether they're working actively in the garden or just throwing through the garden for a quick good look. And the animals are curious too. Not all the animals will come and dig up your plants, but for sure the gophers and the rodents will go through picking for food. And the coyote and the raven, they're always curious. They'll come and peel this back, look under here, just to see what you're doing in the garden. So you're thinking function, you're thinking of beauty, and you're thinking of all your relations traveling through time, everyone together. That is the design of a garden. So here we are, back to the turkey wings. This is the wing feather, is not the tail feather. And take a look, this is beautiful engineering, this is beautiful design. So this is nature design. You've seen the fixed wings planes fly like our Boeings and our Airbuses. Fixed wings, right? But look at how the bird flies, look at those feathers. It is a beautiful thing in action. So beauty and function all tied together. And if you do the flip side of it, you can see the feathers themselves like pinna, a protein skin web that holds it all together and enables to move together, but at the same time independently. And if you look a little bit up close here too, then you'll see some of the colorations as it dances in the lights. Turkey feathers. So for design class today, we're going to go around looking at different kind of structures in the garden. The design of a garden is a real personal thing. Everybody's different and your likes and your preferences are going to be different. That applies to all aspects of the garden and the benches and the chairs included. That's to say the best way to know if it fits for you is by feel, you getting in there, tactile, touching the stuff, smelling it, seeing if it fits for you as a person. For example, if you're a huge person, you don't want a binky little plastic of a tiny of a stool of a chair. The minute you set it up, boom, you crumble and fall over and you crack the chair. And if you're a little bit of a person, it's more likely than not, you don't want this huge Viking wooden chair that you're going to climb up into and you're sitting there and you feel like you actually went into the giant's quarters or something. So these are all healthy considerations. The materials that you're using, whether it's wood, that's a nice warm feel, or it'll be stone that has a more ancient fossilized feel, or metal for that sake. And the way it's put together, whether it's bought one piece from a store or something that's handmade in the field from locally materials. Walking on the sidewalk, you come across another style of bench in the public sphere. So you think, does that look like that would be comfortable to sit in? How's the height? How's the warm and cold? And is that an extruded process or is it a put together process? If you're going to design and build an open-sided structure with a roof, such as this Chinese pavilion here by a lake, Stowe Lake, you'll have to know if it functions according to design and everything works. So let's go check it out. So as you're going in, the access is good. The stairs are at a comfortable level. There's railings to hold on. And there's a place for people to sit and gather, drink tea, draw calligraphy, and chat. And there's more benches around the outside in case you have a larger party of people here for a visit. And because of the open-sided nature of the structure, you do have views all the way around. You check out the views. How's the views? Not too bad, not too bad. And above, since it's a covered structure, you want to know that it is keeping the insides dry. And the netting is keeping the birds away from nesting and pooping within the structure. Another important feature about the roof, make sure there's sufficient overhang. And so when the water comes in the wintertime and is dripping, 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 falling all the way down, does that water ever fall into a gutter, or is it properly drained so it doesn't cause problems to the foundation of the structure? So that anybody running in here on a cold winter's day can stay dry and still enjoy the trees and the water and the flowers. So as you're pondering the relationship of this structure to the surrounding areas over time, a few questions come to mind. In a large public space such as this, it seems idyllic and peaceful and seems like a neat use of a structure. But in a private residential estate, would it be appropriate to place such a pavilion? And if you did place the pavilion, would it be okay to mix and match cultural styles? That's to say, is it okay to put a Chinese pavilion here, then a Victorian greenhouse here, and maybe some Aztec pyramids over here? Will you create some weird hybrid for your home? Or should all the cultural and design styles match for a given site? Let me put this question to you in another way. 像假如你在世纪制造一个花园，你可以就随随便便放个中国东西、西方东西、德国人东西、南美洲东西、印第安人东西，可不可以都随便就混起来放呢？或者呢，你需要只是一种东西，只是日本花园，只是中国花园，或者只是西方欧洲花园。Boardwalks and decks. This one's made of ironwood, ipe, tabuia, peau d'arco. Walks comfortable. Is weathered beautifully. No stains, no paints, no rot. And it's just a little bit elevated enough off the ground. It makes you feel nice and comfortable. This is a wonderfully constructed wood deck sitting over a little pond with a view of the maple and magnolia trees beyond. It stood the test of time. They used good timbers and good craftsmanship. The lines on this structure are simple and clean, with no extra brackets and screws and a mess of hardware that seems to get in the way of the woodwork. Here's some joinery, nice snug fit. Right in the groove. There's a little space left here on the bottom of the railings. so that the structure will be open and leaves and seeds could keep on going and not get trapped in a little rectangle of a deck. This leaning old coriaria tree, rather than pruning it up, we're trying to make it grow straight. They allow this graceful form to just slowly, with time, arch over this deck until they slowly grow into one unified whole. It also seems like an 8-sided structure, but very distinct from the Chinese pavilion we saw back in Stowe Lake. So here we go, let's go for a closer look. So we'll access it from here. Nice, easy straightaway, comes all the way in. Once you're in down, out of the sun, into the shade. And looking up. Nice carpentry work. If I want to sit down, well, let's go off to the side then. So this place, unlike the Chinese pavilion, the seating is not underneath the roof, is on the outside of the roof. Let's check out this open-sided view from the middle. Okay, so we do a little 360. Given that there's no seating within the pavilion itself down here in the shade, it seems more likely that this would be a perfect spot for a ceremony, like a wedding. They'd be like holding hands here, and over there would be all the crowded people on their benches staring and looking at you. If that's the case, and they're looking this way, what do you imagine would be a perfect backdrop back behind here? Underneath the eucalyptus trees, in the sand, with the wind coming hard off the ocean. What would be a tree that would give grace and form for the audience there to look out beyond and see? So you as the designer, you're going to select the plants. So that's the question. Gateways and doorways are magical structures in the garden. They could be a little side gate that leads to the backyard. They could be a doorway that opens out from the dining room out into your porch. It could be a small portal that separates the garden to 2 or 3 different elements. And the doorway would then signal that transition that goes from one space to the next. In this part of the exercise, I want you to focus not on the materials themselves, not on the maintenance, not on nature's interactions and relations with this particular structure, which is gateways and portals, but rather focus on just the shapes and the lines themselves. The major lines, the outlines of the forms, and then later, if you like to, the finer lines that defines this portal and gateway. So we'll take a little walkabout. Let's go take a number of different doorways.